Hello, I'm Judy Rees. I suppose I'm an expert in online meetings and hybrid meetings.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Allen. I'm a meeting scientist.
One of the things about hybrid meetings is that for many years before the pandemic, we all advised against them because they tended to be absolutely horrible. We would always say, if anybody's going to be remote, make it a remote meeting. It's going to be better. But the research now shows that hybrid meetings don't have to be horrible like that. We can make them good and effective.
The most important thing in the relationship between meeting experiences and satisfaction and effectiveness of the meeting is actually participation. And what we found in the data was that it's not a matter of just an individual deciding to participate. What has to happen is the meeting leader, organizer, facilitator, whoever's kind of running the show there has to ask for that everybody wants to be seen and heard. Right now, you're getting the kinds of contributions you need to be successful in your hybrid meetings. So it's really a matter of asking for participation and attendees being willing to reciprocate that ask. And so the data that I've collected has basically indicated that if people are seen and heard in a meeting, then they feel much better about the meeting experience and are much more likely to achieve the goals for which the meeting was called. And so to do that, you essentially have to have appropriate tools at your fingertips.
And that's not a trivial ask. If you're organizing a hybrid meeting, it actually requires you to pay attention to technology that you're going to have in the room and the technology that people are going to have remotely and the connections between them. I had a group the other day. They were planning to do a workshop for art curators on a hybrid basis. I got them to draw their worst fears, and they all drew that the technology was going to go wrong. I said, hold your drawing up to the camera and talk us through it. And then tell me what media you used for that drawing. And we had 6 drawings, only one of them could be seen. You need higher quality cameras and more light to actually do the job.
And I love what you mentioned there about the different modalities of communications, because some people are going to connect via audio, some people are going to connect via video and audio, and some people are going to be in the room. And so the complex environment, which is a hybrid meeting, necessitates a little bit more work.
As the leader, facilitator, it actually requires you to think through how that participation is going to happen. You're going to design an in-the-room meeting, you're going to design an online meeting, and then you're going to figure out how they're going to connect with each other. Because the rules of online meetings and in-room meetings are different. For example, in the room, you have the social stuff around the edges of the meeting. Online, the social stuff has to fit within the time box of the meeting. So you need design across the two.
Make sure you invite them to, just kind of chime in or say, hey, how is everybody doing? I see that Elise is online.
And it's not impossible. It's not incredibly complicated. It just needs thinking through.
How are things going for you? Invite that social interaction, because we know that sets the stage for a more positive and more cohesive environment for people to interact. And if you're planning on asking them to participate and you don't create a positive environment, it's going to be harder for them to overcome that angst they may feel about chiming in.
It doesn't all have to cram into the time box of the meeting. You can use nice collaborative tools to get the conversation started before you start and to continue the conversation after you finish. And once you've done the planning, the thinking for one kind of meeting, you can then rinse and repeat. You don't have to spend hours every time, because it will make a difference for that meeting, but then for all your future hybrid
meetings. I couldn't agree
meetings.
more. I think we have a very bright future when it comes to meetings and how we use them, because some of the early data that I collected actually showed that early adopters of hybrid were having more positive meeting experiences than people who were face-to-face or virtual, both. So they were actually doing better than either of those other modalities, right? And some of that could be the novelty of, we're actually in the same room together, at least a few of us, right? That there could have been a little bit of sunshine there, but for me, it felt like we're turning a corner, that there's an opportunity here for success in the future if we engage in the right principles and practices.